guys, and welcome to my channel, Changing Phases Tarot. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. Now today's reading, we'll be doing the general reading for the month of December 2017. Hard to believe that we are entering the last month of the year. This year certainly seems to have gone by very quickly. Just a couple of announcements before we actually get into the reading. First of all, for today's reading, I will be doing a 10-card Celtic cross spread using the Crystal Visions Tarot deck. I'll pull one additional card from the Soul's Journey Lesson Card deck by James van Praagh. If I need to clarify anything, I will probably use the Sibylla's, or I might use the Shadowscapes Tarot deck. But I will leave all of the information on the decks that I use in the reading in the description box below the video. These are, just to remind everybody, these are general readings for each of the astrological signs. So the messages may or may not resonate with you. The only way that you can really get, a personalized reading that really focuses on you and what's going on specifically in your life is by ordering a private reading. If you're interested in getting a private reading with me, all of the information can be found on my website. That is changingphasestarot.weebly.com. You can also email me at changingphasestarot@gmail.com. And just to let you know, during the month of December, I will put out, in addition to this general reading, I will put out the mid-monthly reading focusing on love and career and finance. And I will put out one additional video for the upcoming years. That will be a special 2018 preview focusing on the energy surrounding us for each of the months of 2018. And that will be for each of the astrological signs. So be looking out for that as well. And I'm wishing everybody a wonderful month. This is a month with lots of holidays. It's the holiday season. So I'm sending much love and light your way. Okay, give me 1 second and I will be right back with the shuffle. See you in a minute. Hi Aquarius, I'm here to do your December 2017 reading. Sorry, moving some things out of the way here. All right, so I've already shuffled and meditated off camera, but I will just do a couple more shuffles here. So Spirit, what does Aquarius need to hear? What are the energies for the month of December 2017 for the sign of Aquarius? I have things flipping around here, sorry. One more. Okay, what does Aquarius need to hear? What are the messages for Aquarius for the month of December? Aquarius for the month of December. What do we need to know? What are the messages for Aquarius? Interesting reading. Okay, let me show you the cards, and then And then I will position, or I'll pull the other two oracle cards and I'll position everything and get into the reading. But we had quite a few cards fall out. So at the center of the reading, we have the Hanged Man, Major Arcana, number 12. Crossed by Major Arcana, the Devil, number 15. Okay, the Foundation, the Queen of Wands. Past position, the Eight of Cups. Crowning your reading, you have the Tower, Major Arcana, number 16. And in the future position, you have the Knight of Cups. You in the reading appear as the King of Pentacles. And I know you are not an earth sign, but we have you appearing as the King of Pentacles. The Queen of Cups in your surrounding environment. Your hopes and fears, the Queen of Pentacles. And the outbound energy, the Nine of Pentacles. And the card that was at the bottom of the deck for the overall energy for the period is the Five of Wands. Okay, and I have a feeling I'll be pulling some clarifiers on this, but let me just go ahead and pull the additional oracle cards here. So, what additional message does Aquarius need to hear for the month of December 2017? What does Aquarius need to hear? What are the messages for Aquarius for the month of December? Oops. Growth. Oh, that's a beautiful card. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. Beautiful mandala. Okay, and let me set this over here for 1 second. One additional card from the Soulful Woman deck. What additional message does Aquarius need to hear for the month of December 2017? Spirit, please show us one additional message for Aquarius, December 2017. This one. The unknown. I bow to the infinite intelligence of the cosmos, and my next steps are revealed. Interesting. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me set everything up, and then if I feel I need to pull some clarifiers, I will do that. Be back in 1 second. All right, Aquarius. So here we go. We have, and you'll see I did, as I was laying everything out, I was kind of drawn to the two cards in the middle and the Tower as the crowning energy. So I did pull additional cards on those, and I'll get to that in 1 second. But beginning here with this Five of Wands card. So this is the overall energy for the month of December. This was the card that was at the bottom of the deck. So Wands energy is fire energy. So this has to do with it's sort of creative, right, energy. It has to do with the day-to-day things that we deal with. It's our work. It's, you know, how we feel about our work when we feel very, you know, excited and ready to sort of face the world kind of thing. So it's determination and strength and intuition and ambition and courage. Typically associated with the fire sign. So with the astrological signs of Aries, Leo, Sagittarius is the Suit of Wands. Now the Five of Wands, this is a card of conflict, but it's more of a, you know, sort of a conflict and power struggle, right? There's more competition going on here. It can represent delays, the Five of Wands. It can also represent arguments, annoyances, and I see there was delay comes up here in the middle of in the center of the reading that I'll get to. It also came out in one of the clarifying cards, or actually Yeah, in one of the clarifying cards. So sometimes it can have to do with a delay. But if we look at the card here, yes, it is a card of conflict, but we have, the three men facing each other. They're holding up the wands. These wands are not swords, right? They really can, they don't do the harm that a sword would do. And the way that they position them is really just sort of, to intimidate the others, right? To make the others back down in the same way that the two lions, they're baring their teeth, they're sort of showing their teeth, but they really don't go in for the kill. So it's almost like each person here is kind of is simply fighting to gain the alpha position, right? Not seriously trying to harm the other person, but it really is about, getting the upper hand, or having the upper, being in that alpha position in some type of conflicting situation or argument, or if you're going up against other people. Sometimes this card appears when you are going, say you're, applying for a job, and it's that type of energy where it's competing energy. You're trying to stand out from all of the other candidates. So it's, sometimes it can merely be that. It doesn't have to be, as dramatic as, a major conflict, because it really isn't. It's more of competition, right? Power struggle and competition. So we'll see how this plays out as we go through the reading, but that is there's this sort of underlying feeling here of struggle is what we get as the overall energy. So at the center of the reading, let me just move these and I will show you the cards. The center of the reading, we have two major arcana. So the Hangman, which is card number 12, and the Hangman is crossed by the Devil. Okay, so beginning with the Hangman, this is a card that has to do also with sort of delays of waiting, right? And we can see that the man, he is tied upside down, hanging down here, right? Just sort of suspended. So there's this air of sort of being in suspension, of being up in the air, of not sort of knowing which way to go and needing to wait. But we must remember that the Hangman, by being in this upside down position, we can see that actually around his head down here is light, right? We see the light encircling his head. So by putting himself in this upside down, or really surrendering, giving into being in this upside down position, he is able to gain a new perspective on something, on a situation, right? So the card does represent indecision. It represents a period of suspension, and it can represent as well, sort of surrendering to this situation, right? Sort of accepting the fact that there are certain times, right, certain situations and times where we have no control over it for, whatever reason. Things are kind of out of our control. So it's more about acceptance and understanding, and also, changing, possibly, finding a way out of whatever this is by changing our perspective, by seeing things from a different, having a different outlook on life. So, and this figure, he could try to, he's very loosely tied up here in the tree, right? It's just sort of, you would think that the weight of his body, if he just wiggled around a little bit, he would fall out. But instead of that, he's surrendering to this moment. He's gaining the new perspective. And this card is crossed by the Devil. So another major arcana card. And the Devil card, it has to do with attachments, right? So attachments, desires, temptation, being bound to, sometimes it's to materialistic things. Sometimes it's to being bound to an unhealthy situation, right? And you refusing to see things, to gain that perspective and really see things for what they are. Sometimes it's being bound to, those kind of toxic relationships that, even though, deep down you might know that it's not the right relationship for you, it's kind of this, you're tied to it, right? There's an unwillingness to really see it for what it is in order to break away from it. So, with the Hangman being crossed by the Devil, there's some type of attachment, right? There's this very strong kind of, or a need, really. I feel like there's a need to see things from a different point of view in order to break out of, right? Or in order to maybe recognize certain things about yourself in order to break out of whatever this is, right? And I pulled the 3 cards that I pulled on the 2 center cards here. I used the, actually I used the Sibila cards. I used the Shadowscapes Tarot for the, here for the crowning card, but I use this for the center card. So we have, the first card that came out is the Alteza, which is the waiting card, which does kind of go along with the Hangman, right? The middle card is Dispiacere, which is sorrow. And the last card is the Mercante, which is the merchant card. Okay, and what these 3 cards, what they're telling me is that with the waiting card, you know, this is, like the card suggests, waiting on an outcome, right? But it's more about just needing to have patience. You know, the answer will come in. So sort of needing to kind of let go and wait for the answer to come in, which really goes along with the Hangman card underneath it. The Sorrow card, this is a card that it speaks of, you know, you might have been through a difficult situation, you know, and with each storm, there sort of comes a calm that is reached now or in the future. So there might have been some loss. You might have gone through a very difficult time, or might be going through a difficult time, right? This might have to do with money issues. This might have to do with a relationship. You know, it could be in many different areas here, but it's, you know, it's some type of loss. So, you know, there's a waiting happening, then some type of loss. And then with the Mercante, the merchant, he is somebody who, he's an interesting character because, yes, he represents, you know, a very astute sort of business person, a merchant, right? Somebody out for profit. So kind of represents business or professional goals. He is also able to see things. He's open to change, and he is able to look at things with a different perspective, you know, that will ultimately lead him to big advantages. So, you know, he sees different ways of making this money, right? He's very clever. So, and that's, again, it goes along with this, with the Hangman card of seeing things from a different perspective. So, you know, the sort of the energy that I'm getting off of this middle, the middle 2 cards, is that there's, you know, there has been some waiting. You've been needing to kind of surrender and just, you know, wait for whatever this change is to happen, or wait for something to happen. But there is something that maybe is tying you, you know, that is causing you to feel tied to something, and it's something that has brought sorrow, right? Something that has been very difficult for you. Let's see where we go from here. We have at the foundation, the Queen of Wands. Now, this is not your energy. So, you know, I did notice in your reading, actually, Aquarius, you have quite a few court cards. And when a lot of court cards appear, they can be people around you at this time. So you could just be surrounded by lots of different people, right? Or this could be, you know, you taking on the energy of these different court cards, or it could just have to do with a situation or an event that's surrounding you. So we'll see how this all ties together. But with the Queen of Wands, this is fire sign, fire energy. And fire energy, just like we had with the Five of Wands, this is, you know, it's very creative energy. It's to do with ambition and creativity and drive. And the Queen of Wands, she is a very busy person, right? She is that type of, you know, she's kind of into everything. She's very good at what she does. She's you know, she's kind of at her job, works very hard at her career. She's a great if she's, you know, if this is a mother, she's a wonderful mother, and, you know, taking her children to the baseball practices or the soccer practices. She's a wonderful, caring wife. She manages to juggle, you know, lots of different things, and is good at kind of everything that she does, right? She is somebody who's very energetic, very confident, very warm. She's also very caring, right? She kind of, she has an allure. She sort of brings people into her. She's a very inspiring type of figure, right? So she's very strong, very capable. You know, if this has been you or you taking on this energy, it's just really, you know, it's about you taking control and just, you know, being very, feeling very confident, feeling very, you know, optimistic about what you have been working on, or you have been working, you know, very hard on something. And if this is a person, then this would be, you know, typically an older female fire sign, which would be a Leo, or it could be an Aries, or it could be a Sagittarius. Doesn't necessarily have to be gender specific in these general readings, but, you know, the queen would, could represent a female, right? An older female fire sign. In the past, you have the Eight of Cups. Now, the Eight of Cups has to do with walking away from, as we see on the card, the woman is walking, she has her back turned, walking away from an emotional or a situation that no longer serves you anymore, right? It's no longer emotionally fulfilling. And even though there's a certain sense of regret in walking away, right? And the woman, you know, it might not be easy to do, to walk away from whatever this is that isn't serving you, or isn't bringing you emotional fulfillment. The woman also knows that, you know, there is something better lying ahead. So that's where she is sort of moving towards. And we know that this Suit of Cups has to do with our emotions, our love, different types of relationships. And the Eight of Cups, you know, there is a sense of sadness that surrounds the card. So it's sort of the sadness in leaving behind and abandoning the old, right? And moving towards whatever this, you know, change is. But it's really, you know, the person is very tired of the way that things have been, you know, and so that there is a need to sort of seek out this more fulfilling, whatever this might be, you know, a job that's more fulfilling, a relationship that's more fulfilling. It's a card of transition. You know, this is a definite transition here in the past. So, you know, this might, again, this could play out in many different ways in a general reading, but this might be you, you know, walking away from a job that no longer serves you. And with this, you know, as the overall energy, this could very well be you applying for new jobs, going up against different people, or applying for a promotion, you know, and so you made this decision to walk away from the job that you're currently in. This very well could be that, you know. If we try to look at this in more of sort of a relationship, or from a relationship point of view, this could have to do with, you know, maybe leaving behind some type of relationship in the past. And then with the Five of Wands, this could be, you know, maybe you're doing sort of online dating, and there's the, you know, the competition of the other people online, you know, as that type of energy. So again, it could be many different things here. But what's crowning your reading, so the crowning energy here is the Tower. Now, the Tower is, I know a lot of people, when they see this card, they get very, you know, sort of freaked out. They think it's a, you know, a horrible card, and it's just, you know, a catastrophic event and something terrible coming in. Yes, it can be, you know, it's definitely a life-changing sort of energy with the Major Arcana card, the Tower. But it's it doesn't have to be negative, you know. The Tower just kind of comes in to say that, you know, something is definitely changing in your life, and the foundation you see here, you know, there's a lightning bolt coming down out of the sky, and the Tower is sort of excuse me, crumbling away. So, you know, there is this sort of change, a change in fortune, or, you know, could be a striking revelation, you know, that whatever, and maybe this, you know, if this was a relationship in the past or even a job, I mean, maybe what you thought was very stable, it really wasn't. Maybe the foundation of this wasn't that stable. So it's all about, you know, how you kind of perceive and how you face this dramatic change, and how, you know, and that will sort of determine how you adapt to the new circumstances and the new opportunities that might come up. You know, much like the Death card from the Major Tarot. I mean, the Death card is also a very ominous card, but what the Death card actually speaks of is, you know, what comes after. So, you know, there has to be an ending in order to have a new beginning. So when one thing ends, something else begins, and it's impossible to have this new beginning without first having some type of ending. So, you know, that's the way that I tend to read the Tower card. So, you know, there might be, this could be, you know, an unexpected news that you find out about, this very, you know, life changing, or maybe this is, I mean, it does show up sometimes, you know, with sort of endings of relationships or endings of jobs, or that type of, you know, of energy, or finding out something that's very shocking that really changes your perspective on everything. But just know that, you know, after this comes new beginnings. And I see that with this Knight of Cups. Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't show you the, I pulled the clarifiers on that. I apologize. So the clarifiers that I pulled on the Tower came out the Eight of Cups, but from this other tarot deck, the Shadowscapes. So, you know, we had the Eight of Cups in the past right here, and it came up in the past position in the clarifiers. So definitely, you know, this change, this Tower, it has something to do with you leaving something behind, feeling emotionally unfulfilled, and deciding to walk away from something. In the middle position is Major Arcana, the Lovers, which is a head or heart decision. And this could be many different things. Yes, it could be a person. This can represent, you know, that sort of soulmate connection, karmic connection with another person. So this could definitely be, you know, walking away, having walked away from a relationship or a person. But it also has to do with a head or heart decision. So, you know, for example, if we look at it from a, you know, a job point of view, if you were unhappy in this job, you know, you had to make a head or heart decision, which is, you know, do I stay in the job that maybe pays more money? This is just an example, you know, because that's what my head tells me to do. Or do I go with my heart and leave it for a job that pays less, but, you know, is more in line with sort of me and my growth on this path, you know, that I'm currently on. So it's a head or heart decision. And then what we have as the outbound is the Eight of Swords, which is a card that it's mental energy. So it's your thoughts, right? And it's feeling imprisoned. And this is kind of like the same sort of feeling that I got off of the Devil card. It's feeling imprisoned, but it's a false sense of imprisonment, right? Because with the Eight of Swords, we know that, I mean, this bird right here could easily fly up and get out of the swords, right? There are swords all around it, but it's, you know, it's kind of fooled itself into thinking, right, that no, I can't do that. I have to stay here, but you don't, right? You don't have to stay here. And we have an 8 here, and we have an 8 here, and 8's a very, you know, it's a very sort of, it reminds me, you know, the number, it's like the infinity sign. So it's this sort of never-ending cycle, or like this, you know, this karmic connection or some type of link, which also we have the Devil, which is a, you know, a card of sort of these connections and ties and being tied to something. So I feel as though, you know, you're needing to break out of something or move away from something. And it's really been sort of you and your thoughts that have been keeping you entrapped in whatever this was, if this was a job or a relationship. But, you know, that's changing now. And you're moving on to the Future card, which is the Knight of Cups. Okay, and this is Cups energy again. So we have, you know, and if we look at the cards sort of mirroring each other, in the past you have the Eight of Cups walking away from something, and in the future you have a Knight of Cups, which is really, you know, it's sort of the knight in shining armor coming in and bringing in this new offer of love. Or if it's not love, it's something that brings great emotional happiness, right? Brings great happiness to your life. And again, this is the cups. The suit of cups has to do with emotions and feelings, also intuition. So with the Knight of Cups, knights are typically sort of, you know, again, this could be a person. If it is, this would be a middle-aged, sort of 30s, 40s, male sign, male water sign, which would be either a Cancer or could be Pisces or Scorpio. Again, doesn't necessarily have to be gender specific. But, you know, this person is bringing in an offering, right? We know that the pages of cups are the ones that, you know, they're the excited ones. They bring in sort of this news of something. And then the knights are the ones who actually work on it, right? And they make it happen. And so he brings in typically some type of romantic invitation or romantic offering, right? Or a romantic request. And he's a very sort of passionate, romantic character, very sensitive. So this could very well be, you know, you leaving behind this, you know, this relationship that no longer serves you, and then, you know, and making way for this beautiful new opportunity or relationship that's coming in here, right? And you appear not as your sign, because obviously you are an air sign, but you are appearing in the reading as the King of Pentacles. And you have the King of Pentacles as you, and then in your hopes and fears, you have the Queen of Pentacles. So Pentacles is earth energy, and it's the energy that it has to do with everything tangible, right? Everything we can touch and feel here in the material realm, in the material world. So this would be, you know, the job that we do, the money that we make from the work that we do. It would be, you know, the things that we are able to purchase with that money. Has to do with also our education. It has to do with earth itself, you know, and prosperity. All of those things are related to the suit of Pentacles. Now, the King of Pentacles, he is the, you know, he has mastered the suit of Pentacles. So this would typically be an older male sign, male earth sign. If it is, then that would be, you know, an older sort of male Capricorn or Virgo or Taurus. And he's somebody he's very prosperous. He's very successful. He's very secure and reliable. Very knowledgeable as well in those sort of practical matters, right? Those grounded, sort of a very grounded person, down to earth, very trustworthy. Even though he's not overly sentimental like this King of Cups is, the King of Pentacles is very kind. He's a kind person, a loving person. So again, if this is not a person that you're dealing with, this is just you taking on the energy of the King of Pentacles, right? And feeling very secure and feeling very, you know, very sort of reliable and ambitious and prosperous during this month of December. What you have surrounding you in your environment is the Queen of Cups. Again, this could be a person. If it is, this would be an older female water sign. So again, the water sign, that would be either Cancer or Scorpio or Pisces. And she is a very loving person. She's very caring. She's very loving. She's, you know, she loves to take care of everybody. Very warm. She's also very intuitive. She's a very intuitive person. So if this is, you know, somebody that you're dealing with, she's kind of that, you know, very empathetic caregiver, right? She's loved by everybody. She's very honest and fair. Yeah, she's a little dreamy, but she's kind of, you know, a very warm, compassionate mother figure to everybody, right? So this might be somebody that you are interacting with over this, the month or during the month of December, right? Or this could be the energy that you're taking on. But I feel more like this is somebody that you might be dealing with, right? If it isn't, then it could be just be you needing to, be, because it's we're getting into the holiday season. So maybe this is you needing to be very, open and warm and taking care of lots of people. And there are lots of, sort of festive events during this month of the year. So it could just be you taking on this energy as well. Now, your hopes and fears, and also the outbound energy, you have 2 Pentacles cards. You have the Queen of Pentacles as your hopes and fears, and the 9 of Pentacles is the outbound energy. Now, both of these cards are very good cards and, very stable, along with the King of Pentacles down here. So it seems as though, Aquarius, you have, you have finances sort of on your mind. You have financial stability on your mind, which could have to do with, you looking for this new job or trying out for, trying to get more financial stability in your life by leaving behind, a career or a position that was no longer serving you. Because the Queen of Pentacles in your hopes is your hopes, in the hopes position, it would be, and again, I don't feel as though this is a person. I think this is kind of what you are hoping for. You're hoping to be like this Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles, much like the King of Pentacles that we just saw here in your position, she's very down to earth. She's kind of that earth mother, she's very grounded, very resourceful, financially savvy. She's also business minded. She's nurturing and supportive, especially of, she has children. She's very, that typical earth mother, loves taking care of her children and animals. And she's, she has a very warm heart, but she's also somebody who is very stable. She's very grounded, right? And then the 9 of Pentacles is kind of that, I usually think of it as the single person, but it's that, that stable, self-sufficient single person, because you see this woman, she's in this beautiful garden. She has, the tiger next to her, the peacock looking very, she's very comfortable in her surroundings. She has the 9 pentacles surrounding her. So she's built up a lot of, security, stability, financial security in her life. So she's very self-sufficient, right? She's somebody who's refined. She's very comfortable in her surroundings, and she's kind of built the life that she really visualized for herself, right? And so she's feeling very content. She's feeling very, her life is very harmonious. She's feeling fulfilled. And so, with these 2 cards, it does, I definitely get the feeling that you are looking for this financial stability. This Knight of Cups, he could be bringing in, if this isn't a new offering of love, this could be a new offering, could be a job offer coming in that will bring you great, great happiness and emotional fulfillment. That's, sort of linked to this, this line of pentacles on that side. So this could very well have to do with some type of, job and leaving behind a job, having to go up against other people for the job. And there's some type of waiting going on here. And, and this waiting is causing you to feel sort of entrapped and very stuck. But just know that something is coming in. And this is, looks to be more towards I would say, the middle to the end of the month of December. So probably not within the first 2 weeks. But it does look as though more financial stability is on the way. Now, the 2 oracle cards that we have, and typically for the oracle cards, I read from the guidebook for them. And we have from the Soulful Woman deck, we have card number 41, the Unknown. And this is, it's a card that speaks, a little bit, it makes me think of the Hangman card, because it speaks of, kind of not giving into, but, bowing to the infinite knowledge of the universe, right? And understanding that sometimes, sometimes even though we might think that we know better, right? Sometimes we just need to surrender, like the Hangman, and just kind of let the universe show us what the next step on our path is. So this card says, when I find myself at a crossroads where something old has come to an end and new is yet to be formed, I am gentle and patient with myself. As I release the old, I trust that the universe is creating the space for the new to enter my life in its own perfect timing. I keep my heart open and embrace the mystery, knowing I can't hurry the process. Sometimes when I don't know when, don't know how, don't quite know what or with whom, something magical happens. I open myself to the alchemy of my soul's growth. And we have the growth card over here as well. I enter a change portal in my soul's journey that calls me to bow to a design and intelligence infinitely greater than my own. Living in this space of don't know calls for courage, patience, curiosity, and trust. I reach out for support from those that love me. I open my heart to the loving guidance of the divine. And see, this card, it ties in perfectly with what I was feeling, with these two cards and the Tower, is this need to sort of, let go, right? Trust in whatever this change is. And there is change coming in. I mean, that's very obvious here with the cards that came out for you, Aquarius. And then the last card is growth. And the growth card says, let me find it here, sorry. It says, you are constantly being presented with situations that enable you to develop your inner wisdom and assist you in advancing to higher levels of understanding. The lesson is to be aware of these events and recognize them for what they are. To live a mindful life is not only about respecting and honoring those around you, it is also about recognizing every person and circumstance on your path as a teacher. The constant chatter and diversions of life on earth can distract you from the signpost that Spirit has left on your path. Take the time to be aware of the bountiful wisdom that has been laid before you. Acknowledge these gifts and take them to heart as you continue your sojourn in this physical dimension. Don't look for the opportunities that you think you need. Instead, be receptive to the opportunities that are given. And that's so interesting because that completely ties in here with what I was saying about the seeing things from a new perspective. With this Merchant card also coming out, that he's able to sort of see things in a different way in order to, sort of seek out these new opportunities. So I love how the Oracle cards tie in with everything. It's amazing. Okay. Well, I do hope that the messages have helped you in some way, Aquarius. I look forward to reading for you again. Be looking out for the mid-monthly reading and also the 2018 overview. And just know that I'm sending you much peace, love, and light. Bye.